With X-Men 97 hitting living rooms literally as we speak, and possibly it might have been a good amount of time since you snuggled up to the Mutants group, I wanted to take a little bit of time to give you 4 things that you want to keep in mind if you haven't seen the series in a while that you want to go into or carry through for X-Men 97. Salutations and fist bumps, folks. Welcome back to the grid. Okay, so let's get right into this. Here's 4 things that you need to know about X-Men 97 that will carry you through the entire series. Now, we can't start this off without mentioning that the story starts or picks up where the 90s series left off. And if you don't remember, that left us with Charles Xavier leaving or dying at the end of the series. Is he really dead though? Well, possibly, because of what we saw at the end of the X-Men 97 trailer, with Magneto saying that he is basically going to take over everything that Charles had. Then we have the iconic voice acting cast returning, and that means that we now get Cathal Dodd's Wolverine, George Busa as Beast, and Allison Seeley Smith as Storm. And that means that everyone, if you are like me, you are feeling all of the nostalgic feels inside of your warm fuzzies that you can possibly handle. And yes, that does mean that I'm going to be watching with this guy. Now, you also want to keep in mind that the main villain for this series will be a pretty hefty baddie inside of the comic, even though everyone thought, or would probably be in the same ballpark of thinking, that it would have been Magneto. However, it looks like Marvel Studios, or the animated portion of Marvel Studios, is going with Mr. Sinister as the main villain for this series, which to me kind of feels like a continuation from a portion of the 90s series, because at one time that was exactly who they were going up against. So if that is the case, this might be a continuation of that story. You also now want to keep in mind that this series is not, I repeat, not set inside of the MCU 616 Earth that we have come to know around the MCU movies and all that kind of stuff so far. Even though the MCU is very expansive, this universe is not touched, because instead X-Men 97 will stay with the same continuity in the fictional reality of Earth 92131. Now, if we somehow see that later on in other movies, then we have things to question at that point. But right now, as it stands, X-Men 97 is not, and I again repeat, not inside of the MCU Earth 616. So by now, you should have everything that you need in terms of an arsenal to go and watch the series if you haven't already. And if you have, go back and watch it, maybe with this information in tow. And from here, you might have some questions about where the MCU came from or is going. And if you do, I now have some playlists that you might want to check out. So check out this one if you want to understand where we came from inside the MCU, and this one if you want to know the latest news that is going on inside the MCU currently. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Y'all be smooth. Blurred out.